Hello, everybody. My name is Joel Ramos, and today my topic will be on the Black Wall Street, also known as the Tulsa Race Massacre, and how the media tried to cover it up. So let's get started. Greenwood was known as the Black Wall Street. It was a strong, self sufficient black community with over 300 black owned businesses like banks, hotels, and theaters. On May 31st and June 1st, 1921, white mobs attacked this neighborhood after false accusations against a black teenager. What started as tension at the courthouse turned into organized violence. The attack lasted about 16 hours in Tulsa, Oklahoma, but the damage lasted generations. The human cost was massive. Over 300 residents were killed, more than 1,000 homes and businesses were destroyed, and over 10,000 people were left homeless, with over $2 million worth of property damage. There was even aerial warfare. Private planes were reportedly used to drop fire and shoot at residents. That makes this one of the first aerial bombings on U.S. soil. Now we're going to get into the historical impact. This was one of the worst racial attacks in U.S. history. The scale of destruction and loss of life was extreme. It destroyed generational wealth. Families had built property, savings, and businesses for decades, and it wiped out in hours. There was no justice or compensation. Not a single white attacker was prosecuted for arson, murder, or looting. Insurance claims were denied, and survivors had to rebuild on their own. The massacre also protected the white economic power. Greenwood's success threatened white business interests, and the violence acted as a warning to other black communities. This wasn't just about violence, it was about control. Now we're going to get into the cover up. After the massacre, newspapers blamed black residents. They framed it as a race riot instead of white terrorism. Records were destroyed or hidden. Police reports, death certificates, and evidence were removed or sealed, making it hard to uncover the truth later. It was also removed from textbooks. For more than 70 years, students weren't taught about it. There was an 80-year gap where Americans had no idea this happened. That shows how powerful media silence can be. Now let's get into the motivation. The erasure protected white political and economic power. Admitting the truth would have damaged Tulsa's reputation. It also avoided legal responsibility and reparations. If people didn't know what happened, survivors couldn't demand justice. It helped maintain the myth of racial progress in America. Tulsa didn't fit the idea of the melting pot or equal opportunity. And media reinforced white supremacy by controlling the narrative. National outlets treated it like a small local issue instead of a national racial terrorism. Whoever controls the story controls how people understand history. The generational wealth gap worsened. The destruction of Black Wall Street still affects wealth inequality today. Public ignorance about racial violence grew. If people don't know about events like Tulsa, they underestimate the systemic racism. There is an ongoing distrust between black communities and institutions. When governments and media hide the truth, trust breaks down. By erasing Tulsa, racism could be treated as an isolated incident instead of a pattern. That makes it easier to say things like, that was a long time ago, or it was just a few bad apples. In modern day, HBO's Watchmen in 2019 showed the massacre in an opening scene, introducing millions of viewers to the event. Academic research by scholars like Scott Ellsworth helped uncover the truth. Memorials like the John Hope Franklin Reconciliation Park now honor the victims. In 2021, the 100-year anniversary brought national attention. President Biden visited Tulsa, and the survivors testified before Congress. Oklahoma now requires teaching the massacre in school. After decades of silence, the truth is finally being told. I think the biggest takeaway from this presentation was that the media has the power to erase anything. Silence protects power structures. Accurate storytelling reshapes public understanding. When people learn the truth, conversations about inequality change. Representation affects policy and justice. If the public doesn't know something happened, there's no accountability that needs to be taken. Media has responsibility to tell uncomfortable truths, amplify marginalized voices, and correct historical records. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation. These are my sources and references. The slides will also be linked when I submit it. Thank you very much. I hope I did well.